10 o'clock. Fox 10 Talks. Syleste and Ron. And this story, this is one of the more unbelievable stories we have covered in all these years that we've been doing Fox 10 Talks. This driver of this car is trying to chase down that child. And it gets to the point where she gets off the road and is on the sidewalk. Every mom, Syleste, is going to look at that story. We got the video coming up in a minute or so. And they're just going to shake their heads. Every day, there's something that you just cannot believe happens in the news.
You know, I think that, people are a little frustrated sometimes over some of these bike riders that are making their way on the e-bikes and maybe dirt bikes around town. But this may be a little drastic.
It's drastic. That is 100% what that is. So we're glad you're starting your 10 o'clock hour with us here on Fox 10 Talks. Every once in a while, I'm tempted to almost say, thanks for starting your day.
Yeah.
But if you're only getting up at 10, we suggest getting up earlier.
We do.
Right?
But, maybe you work the night shift.
True.
And maybe you're getting up at 9 a.m. Maybe you get home at 2.
I know.
And
Syleste considers all situations. Okay, also today on Fox 10 Talks, the police are saying, look, these neighbors, they went on the attack of their next door neighbors because they thought the neighbors were using voodoo dolls against them. Oh my, that's another one of those just when you think you've heard everything. Plus, wait till you hear how much money, and we're talking about in the billions, is being made with these food delivery services. When that launched a few years ago, I thought, nobody's going to spend money on that. We're all glad to go pick up our own food. Apparently not, Syleste. We'll be talking about that. Plus, an expert in political science is going to be joining us. He's been analyzing all this redistricting going on. Blue states going more blue, red states going more red. But will it really change the vote in terms of what things are going to be happening in November? Real quick, here's our poll question this morning. Should the state of Arizona prioritize unemployment benefits? 55% say yes, strengthen the safety net for the unemployed. 33% say no, not if it means raising taxes on employers, because that's where that money comes in. And we're talking about a couple of $100 million goes into this fund. Employers do pay into that. So, and then 12% say, look, the current program's fine, but weekly payments could go higher.
All right, here's some of the numbers on our poll question on YouTube. 58% say yes, strengthen the safety net for the unemployed. 24% say no, and 17% say the current program is fine, but weekly payments could go higher.
Okay. Now let's get right into this VO. This is so unbelievable where the vehicle, and somebody was right there in the neighborhood. By the way, this is from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. I used to live in Spokane, anchored at the main TV station there, KXOY. We would have been covering this one for sure. But this vehicle is clearly trying to chase that child down, and police finally did make an arrest of the driver. This lady was 56 years old. It's still at this point, Syleste, not clear what it was exactly that set her off. They do think that she was under the influence. I don't know if that, nowadays that can mean
a number of different things.
It can mean drugs, it can mean pot, it can mean alcohol, etc. But, in Spokane, which is a pretty laid-back community, Syleste. I used to live in a nice little suburb there called 9 Mile Falls. Look, all of a sudden, right there, that's what happened. And so I don't know if words were exchanged. It looked like the driver had her window down, but she's nuts. What is going on?
I mean, to hop up on the sidewalk and then chase the kid down.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, I know that we've seen a lot of them on the roadway, but there's got to be a better way around it. Like, call the cops yourself.
Yeah.
And say there's, this, it looked like maybe an 11-year-old child riding this dirt bike, but it looks like she was making like a U-turn.
I know.
At that point.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do this. Let's go to Danielle. She's been doing a great job today covering one of the big stories this morning. morning, and frankly, kind of a confusing story. She's on the phone right now and has been out in that Scottsdale area, really the heart of Scottsdale. Danielle, have you been able to maybe more piece together a little bit of these different scenes that were so active in the early morning hours?
Yeah, so they're definitely all connected. So we believe that it all started at the gas station, which is the Circle K. It's right on the corner of Camelback and Miller Road for folks who are familiar with this area. So that is where that initial call came from for all of those shots being fired. And you can see the Circle K, all of the windows are completely, blasted out. There's glass everywhere. There's bullet holes in the apartments in the building, the side of the building there. There's bullet holes in a lot of the glass. There is dozens of shell casings there on the parking lots. So that was just one of the situations happening very early this morning. So all of that got called out right around 2:30 this morning. We got on scene about 4 o'clock this morning, and just about a block away north of Camelback, right on Miller Road, there was a SWAT situation going on with multiple police officers. We heard a flashbang. An ambulance came. We saw a man being put into that ambulance. So that was right around 4 o'clock, and then things got really quiet. The helicopter left, and we thought, they had their suspect in custody, and everything was obviously still under investigation, but moving forward. And then all of a sudden, right around 5:15, 5:30, the apartment complex right across the street from the Circle K, a lot of activity started there, especially with the SWAT team, multiple flashbangs in a particular unit of the apartment complex, and they were, making commands over the loudspeakers. So a very tense situation, a lot of people opening their doors, very frightened, as you can imagine. It was very loud. And from that situation, there was 2 people taken into custody, 2 men. So there was kind of a lot going on, but it does appear that, possibly that shooting started at the Circle K, kind of bled over into the apartment complex, and maybe one of the suspects ran north on Miller, just north of Camelback, and so it kind of stretched this, I would say, little half-mile radius, if you will.
Danielle, it's an interesting part of Scottsdale, right? Not too far from, Scottsdale Fashion Square. You're kind of sandwiched in between Scottsdale Road and the Loop 101. Interesting location.
Yeah, no, it's Old Town is, just off into the west of where we are right now. So it's very close to Old Town, where all of the very popular bars are and restaurants, and Fashion Square is right there. And then if you just go, down the way a little bit, there's the Circle K. If people are familiar, there's a big strip mall as well, where there's Sprouts, there's Starbucks, a pretty popular area right here. Then just across the street, that's where the apartments are, where all of this kind of happened.
That's our Danielle Miller reporting for us live, just trying to sort through it all. Watch our later newscast on Fox 10 at noon, and then at 4 and 5 and 6, we'll have a lot. We'll be able, I'm sure, to piece it all together, but a lot of police activity in that situation. Danielle, thank you.
Thank you.
In the meantime, Syleste, one of those mornings, the garbage truck.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we cover the east side, we cover the west side. This is way out there in Surprise. If you missed it, this is really interesting report. This is from Desiree. She got out there on scene just as they're in the process of getting the garbage truck out of there.
Yeah, it was at Reams and Waddell. Take a look.
Good morning, you guys. Good morning, you guys. So we are positioned right on the corner of Reams and Waddell Roads here in the city of Surprise. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see the situation that's unfolding right now behind us. So unfortunately, there were reports just after 6:30 this morning of a collision, a vehicle colliding with this sanitation truck that you're seeing here. And as we zoom in and take a closer look at this truck, you'll even be able to see that it does say City of Surprise on the side of that garbage truck, so potentially belonging to the city. And you can see all of the damage to the truck. We've got the tire, that front right tire almost off of the rim there. The windshield is shattered as well. And we also have some video from up above from Skyfox that was flying over the scene here earlier this morning. You can see that somehow after the impact of these 2 vehicles, that garbage truck ended up going through that block wall in the backyard of a home right here nearby. So that homeowner going to have some damage and some some repairs to do. But as far as what we know this morning, the driver of the passenger vehicle that was involved here in this collision, unfortunately, has been transported to the hospital. Their condition right now is currently unknown. You can see that crews are trying to remove that garbage truck out of the road. So if you're watching us here, you're seeing the cars drive by. They're actually headed southbound down Reams, passing over Waddell. So the garbage truck is actually positioned in the northbound lanes of Reams Road, but it's facing southbound. So kind of difficult to understand how this collision may have put the garbage truck in that position and then sending it into a backyard nearby. And then as we zoom out, you can see obviously there's a tow company here working to clear that. And look at all of the officers that we have here on scene. At least a handful, if not a handful and a half. We have patrol vehicles positioned on the corners of the intersection here as well. But what you can see is that traffic is getting by.
Okay, Desiree doing a great job reporting on this situation. And there you go. It's so interesting because literally as she's doing her reporting, they just managed to get that garbage truck. That's a big job, Syleste.
Absolutely.
Getting a big tow truck out there, but
it looks as though there might have been a collision, right? We saw that other vehicle.
Yeah.
And then subsequently, then the driver of the garbage truck lost control.
Yeah.
Because there was that crash and then crashed through that wall. And there was just a little bit of damage to the bottom portion of that house.
Well, I know for an hour we were out there looking at the Skyfox pic saying, well, did it hit the house or not? But it looks like it did.
It did, towards the bottom, just a little bit.
And then maybe, I think, smashed up a window, too.
But I mean, the fence, like, that's kind of a big deal.
Can you imagine having to make that phone call to your insurance guy?
Oh, my goodness.
Come on. Oh, what hit the house?
A garbage truck.
Damage is minor, but it was the garbage truck.
Imagine being on this cruise ship.
Oh, Syleste, that's a great point. Have you heard about this cruise ship where they had so many people stranded? There are some new developments. We're going to get those to you right after the break. Stick with us on Fox 10 Talks. By the way, that is a quick little preview for you from Ron and Syleste, and a good chance for you to get a sneak peek at the mystery camp from a pleasant little town with a big factory off in the distance where the smokestacks are pumping away.
Yeah, so it looks as though there's some ships there docked too. So let that noodle around, and it looks like it could be like a little windy
day.
You know, and
we are expert with you guys. I mean, I'm like, are those trees? Do they have a lot of buds on them or not yet?
Where's Waldo?
Okay, from Vanderbilt University, our next guest is Professor William Schaffner. And he is an expert at the very thing, Syleste, that we have all been wanting to talk about, which is this cruise ship situation where they have now begun the efforts to try to get people off the cruise ship. Professor Schaffner, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning.
Good to be with you. Good to be with you, Ron and Syleste.
Why do you think there's such interest in this case?
Well, it's unusual in so many ways, and there's still so many unanswered questions. Here you have a luxury cruise ship where people are suddenly very sick, several people dying, probably with infection from a very unusual virus, which we are a bit surprised is spreading from person to person, and there is concern about whether there might be wider spread once these people disembark. Could it spread to the wider community? I hasten to say I don't think that that will be the case. I think this is going to be a largely confined episode, but nonetheless, it's caught the attention of people around the world.
You know, you're right. Today was kind of that one of the big developments was it's being transferred from human to human, which usually it's rodent to human. Does that mean this is a different strain of the hantavirus?
Yes, I think that's exactly right, Syleste. This is a strain likely called the Andes strain, which in the past has caused some human-to-human transmission, which is different from all of the other hantaviruses with which we're familiar.
Okay, so yeah, this is great, Professor, because you're answering. We have a live interactive chat on YouTube going on at the same time we're on TV. So you're really nailing it. These are the kind of questions that people want answered. What makes you somewhat confident that it won't spread to the general population once everybody gets off that ship? And by the way, have you heard any new estimates as to when they will be able to successfully get everybody off?
Well, the latest I've heard about disembarking these passengers is within the next 2 or 3 days, when the ship gets closer to I think the Canary Islands were first thought, and people will disembark, they will get a medical examination, and then if they are cleared, they can return to their homes. I think this will be confined because although the virus in the past, in the medical literature, this Andes strain has been transmissible to others, isolation procedures and containment have curtailed the outbreak. So I think we can be optimistic that good, solid public health infection control efforts will curtail this and not have much spread, if any, beyond the cruise ship.
You know, you just answered that question from Charles David. He was wondering, are they expecting any widespread outbreak? But we have another question from Burger Boy this morning. Is it wise to take them off the ship? Can't they keep them on and then treat them on the ship? So by the time they make it off, maybe they've all been treated.
Yeah, well, treatment is limited. Treatment is available for people who get ill. We have good supportive care. Nonetheless, the fatality rates, once this virus really gets going, are reasonably high. They can be 20, 30%. We do not have direct antiviral treatment. So we would have to look at all the people who are exposed. But at the moment, the people on this cruise ship are being kept in their cabins away from others. So transmission on the cruise ship, should it have occurred, I think is now going to be very limited.
So how is it treated if there's nothing directly, no medicine or anything like that can directly treat the hantavirus?
This illness, once it gets going, gets into the lungs and the heart. So we would put people in intensive care units, monitor their blood pressure, their fluid intake, their urinary output to make sure everything is balanced, watch all their metabolites so that we can then respond appropriately, so that we can support them as their body, their immune system fights off the infection.
Have you been able to determine why, good for the Canary Islands for saying, okay, we have the facilities here, we think we can be helpful in, getting this crisis resolved, why some of these other countries so far have not?
Well, first of all, the ship is in the middle of the ocean. And so I think they were trying to look for a port that would be reasonably close where the medical resources could be assembled to actually care for these patients and give them a quick once over to make sure that they are not infected and would be cleared to go home. I think it's still a little uncertain whether they're going to dock at the Canary Islands or elsewhere. This is all something very much in progress, so we'll all have to stay tuned to see how things work out. Some of the most seriously ill people have, I think, or are in the process of being air vac'd out so that they can get to more intensive care medical facilities.
Dr. Schaffner, we love you. I mean, you are really on this, great expert. How's life in Nashville today, by the way?
It's a lovely spring day. Thank you very much.
Oh, we're going to have to keep you on our short list. I hope you don't mind. We'd love to chat with you again on other issues.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Celeste, there's a Jimmy John's just off campus there.
Really?
The professor, I know he knows exactly where it is. That's where I had my first ever Jimmy John's sandwich.
Oh, wow.
You know the one I'm talking about, Doc?
I do.
That's fantastic.
You're a connoisseur.
There you go.
He's a sandwich man.
All right. You are on the A list for Fox 10 Talks. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Boy, that was a great guest.
Oh, my God. And can you, infectious disease doc, too. I mean, he's so knowledgeable, right? Kind of laid it out in layman's terms.
Oh, no kidding.
He had great bedside manner.
He sure does. He sure does. Okay, so on to our next story now, Celeste, which is, let's call it the budget battle.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of give and take. On the Republican side and on the Democrat side, you got the House and the Senate with the Republican leadership there. You got the governor, and it sounds like they're about $800 million. I almost said miles. $800 million apart. Listen to this.
What we will not do is allow this governor to raise taxes. What matters most to Arizona families: higher take-home pay, lower costs.
Not slash and burn with just across-the-board cuts like we're seeing come out of Washington, D.C.
Okay, so there's Governor Katie Hobbs, a frequent guest with us and with you guys here on Fox 10 Talks, but she did decide to veto the original budget proposal. It still spends quite a bit of money, Celeste, almost $18 billion.
Yeah.
I can remember when the state budget in Arizona was more like $1 to $2 billion.
Yeah.
Now they're at $18
Hard to
billion.
fathom, right?
It really is. But she wants changes to ESA. She wants an end to the data center tax exemption, which there were some tax incentives put in place for a lot of businesses to encourage that kind of growth. But when it comes to these data centers, there's some pushback on that. And so, Celeste, it's just really interesting, I think, to follow exactly what's been going on with that. We do, by the way, we hear from both sides on this, but it's a good chance, I think, Celeste, to maybe just shift slightly since we're talking about the state of Arizona. Here's what it looks like on our question of the day. The numbers have moved around a lot. How about this down at the legislature and up on the 9th floor? Should the state prioritize unemployment benefits? Now, 34% of you are saying, yep, strengthen the safety net. 47%, almost 50% now say, nope, not if it means raising taxes on employers. And about 20% are saying the current program is okay, but those weekly payments could go higher.
All right, a little bit different here on YouTube. 58% say yes, strengthen the safety net for the unemployed. 28% say no. 14% say the current program is fine, but weekly payments could increase.
Big D.
He is working very hard. Do you hear him tapping that
I heard
keyboard?
the clickety-clack. Sometimes
goodness.
I wonder, he knows the boss watches.
Yeah.
And do you ever notice you walk by his desk and it's just like this? It's like...
And then you look and
I'm
it's
like,
just
come on,
gibberish.
Dave.
Well, and then it's just gibberish.
It's a bunch of Z's and X's. It makes no sense. But the boss walks by and he's like, that is one hard working.
Yeah, I try to pretend like I'm on the phone with the president. Everybody, we need it now. All right.
Take it away.
Lots of comments today. As always, you can comment on fox10phoenix.com/poll, as well as on YouTube. White0NI says, if corporations are going to perform mass layoffs every year, like we're in an Orwell novel, yes, I think there should be some sort of protection for Americans. Evelyn Jenkins in Phoenix says, I think they should give people back their food stamps. It's people literally starving. And I also think they should increase unemployment. People are starving, decrease the rent, the cost of living is going up, but the pay rate isn't enough to pay bills, which creates homelessness. And finally, Bradley Cole Meisenberg in Phoenix says, increase the safety net, but let's limit the time and work harder on getting people jobs. Right. Really interesting comments. Keep them up, everybody.
Hey, Dave, while we have your attention, because he's got a million things going on, do you want to weigh in on our TV question of the day? Because it's No Diet Day. Celeste says burger and fries are her number one go-to when it comes to cheat food on the diet.
I'm kind of a savory gal.
And I'm all about the DQ dip cone. Don't dip it in funfetti. That's like the new trend.
Oh, I like the funfetti.
I'm like chocolate or nothing.
Or the cherry dip.
Yeah, how about you though, friend? What's your cheat diet deal?
I'll take it all. All of the above.
Really?
Oh.
I think it all sounds delicious. If I had to choose one, I would go burger and fries, but my second choice would be the ice cream, which you and Anita both have.
Yeah, that's true. And well, here's the thing, too.
Yes.
Is that they say you're supposed to have 6 small meals a day, and there are your 6 small meals.
Celeste, you're so right. Up next, police arresting people who they say were worried their neighbors were voodoo dolling them.
Right.
Oh, man, we'll tell you where this happened.
Here's your mystery camera. We'll be right back.
Stay with us. I'm not surprised in the least, Celeste. We're getting some pretty good guesses. And you know what's interesting is they're kind of all over the map.
They are. We've got a couple Wisconsins.
Yeah, we do.
Out there, we've got a Georgia from B. Miguel.
Yeah.
Sheboygan from Thomas Favela.
Okay.
And Maryland from Paul Humphrey.
So the thing about Wisconsin is you have to get in the mind of Dean Fazzini.
Oh, yes.
He's our live coordinator, and he's the one who has access to like all 700 cameras.
That's so true. By the way, welcome back to Deborah Owens. She's back in the chat this morning.
Deborah.
She said she's been here a couple times, but I said welcome back.
Good for you. And the thing about it is, yesterday's camera was Wisconsin.
Oh, so
Milwaukee.
Maybe. So you think he's been trying to like pull the wool over our eyes and go Wisconsin again?
No, I think he wouldn't choose Wisconsin 2 days in a row. Of course, that was in the 11 a.m. hour. So maybe, I don't know.
Okay,
He's a complicated man.
I love a good cheese curd, so I'm going to go with Wisconsin.
Okay.
I love good cheese curd.
So I think I am going to go with Darren and Connecticut.
Okay. And here is your mystery camera.
Oops.
Guess.
Okay, here we go.
Racine, Wisconsin.
Is that right?
Nice work, everyone.
Oh, you know what? You know what's funny about those Wisconsin towns, Celeste?
Yes.
They all have these memorable bridges. Because I know you've been to Green Bay, and they've got that kind of low-flung bridge that goes across the main river. There in Green Bay, and here we are in Racine, and then we even had a Sheboygan guess.
Do you know what I think of when I think of Racine?
No. I didn't even know it crossed your mind ever until right now.
A League of Their Own. That is one of the teams.
No kidding.
So they had an all-women's baseball team during World War II.
Yeah.
And of course, they made a movie out of it.
Yep. Tom Hanks, one of the top 10 most famous lines ever. In movies.
There's no crying in baseball.
Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball.
And but they have a league, like a women's baseball league of their own display at the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Super cool.
It's really cool in Cooperstown.
Okay, and then Celeste, you thought maybe we could interact a little bit with the chat box.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Someone asked what your go-to item was at Jimmy John's since we were on with Dr. The Professor Schaffner.
Schaffner. We were really worried we were going to call him William Shatner.
Yeah, but it was
we
Schaffner.
did okay.
It's 2 F's, Schaffner.
So I go for the number 4. It's the Turkey Tom. Celeste, how about you at Jimmy John's?
I go with the lettuce wrapped tuna.
Yeah.
I think it might be like a number 6 or 7. I can't recall.
Yeah.
But I do love it. But the bread there is outstanding.
It is so good.
It is so good. So,
yeah, I love it.
Racine Peaches. Yes, Amber Bugs.
Oh,
Thank
nice.
you.
Okay. Hey, a couple of other stories we're following here. This voodoo doll arrest situation, Celeste, is, I don't know, it's strange to say the least.
It happens, Ron.
Here we go. You have 2 suspects, a mom and a son, accused of attacking their neighbors. They were worried, Celeste, that the neighbors were using voodoo dolls on them. So Gabriela Martinez and Alberto Ayala both pled guilty to charges of aggravated robbery. The court documents say that back in September, they attacked their neighbors. Pretty serious here with a metal pipe. Hit them on their back and on their head and then stole their cell phones. They told police that the victims were performing witchcraft on voodoo dolls, trying to hurt them.
Unfortunately, I think this happens.
You do? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Why?
Because this world is crazy.
Really?
That's why.
All right, I guess
but
so.
I don't think, you don't want to go ahead and do something like this, then you're charged with a crime.
Correct. Be neighborly. If you suspect your neighbors are using voodoo dolls.
Or any type of witchcraft for that matter, Ron.
You, correct. If there's a lot of dancing and chanting going on in the backyard or whatever.
If you see candles and weird books and things like that.
Correct. Just go have a friendly conversation with them and drop off some cookies and everybody will get along.
Make a special kind of brownie.
It doesn't have to be like
and
this.
You can all, celebrate around a campfire.
Let's go to the BNR. Isabella in the breaking newsroom. You've got a story for us.
I do, yes. Now, this is going to be the latest update on the Hazen fire. So we are now on day 4 of this burning. It's burning in the southwest area of Buckeye, and just coming in this morning, that new new latest update from the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management. They gave us a new number, and as of this morning, just 2 hours ago, the fire is now estimated at 1,138 acres of areas burned. But the good news is that containment has gone up. We're now sitting at 45% contained for the fire. And that's really good because as of yesterday, we were only at 10% containment. So that's a good sign. But of course, the fire people want to remind the public to avoid the area. There is going to be law enforcement on the ground to make sure everyone stays out of those fire areas. And APS is also working on restoring the damaged power pole lines near the fire.
Okay. All right. Wow. Isabella, thanks very much. I think, Isabella, before we let you go, I want to get your opinion on this next story. It's a kind of an interesting one. So Uber came out, Syleste, with their earnings, and they said that their rideshare business is up 5%.
Okay.
Good for them. And then they said that their delivery service, which is mostly food, the Uber Eats, that kind of a thing, is up 34% in 1 year.
That's wild.
To $5 billion.
Wow.
So, Bella, do you use them very often? What are your thoughts on that?
I prefer a Waymo, but I do ride Uber time to time when I need a ride somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't use it for food delivery service. I like to go to the grocery store and pick out my own things.
Good for you. Good for you.
Look at Bells.
Yeah, I know.
And not just ordering like a meal for delivery, but she's making something healthy at home.
Well,
she's a healthy gal.
She is. She's amazing.
Bells, you're looking great today,
Bells.
by the way.
When they launched Uber Eats, I'm like, nobody's going to pay except possibly for pizza to be delivered to your house.
Oh.
But it's a $5 billion business.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible.
I mean, I guess if you're working from home, right? And you want your food delivery on time, you're in conference call after conference call, but wow.
Let's do this. Let's go right to our next guest here. We're looking forward to this for sure. It is Dr. Bo Kabala, who's a political science professor at Tarleton State University. Hello, Doc.
Hi, Dr. Bo.
Thanks so much for having me.
Do you use Uber Eats?
You know, I've started and a couple good experiences. So overall, I've been impressed.
Oh, look at him.
Well, there you go.
He's a fan.
Okay. Anyway, the reason we wanted to talk to you today was to get your take on what's been going on with all of the kind of redistricting talk. People hear about it. It's not really affecting Arizona. So do you think I'm going to show some maps here, by the way, which this is pre-reworking the maps.
Yep.
Where 21 Democrat seats and 45 Republican seats just in these two states. Is this a big deal? Let's talk about these two states in particular. I know blue states are going bluer, red states are going redder. What's your take?
I think it is a big deal. Thanks again for having me. Louisiana versus Calais, in my opinion, the decision just handed down by the Supreme Court could be a redistricting earthquake with anywhere from 10 to 20 congressional seats in play. So, just to be clear, what's happened, there's been more than one instance of redistricting. Texas, almost immediately after the 2020 census, initiated, reshaped its political map. You see Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi now in the wake of Louisiana versus Calais, moving in that same direction. This Supreme Court decision upholds the Voting Rights Act. It's a seminal civil rights law, but it insists on interpreting it constitutionally in a colorblind way. And what that means is several, anywhere from 10 to 20, in my opinion, majority-minority districts that were redrawn to bring about an African-American majority, those are at risk. And so I think you'll see Tennessee is starting, Alabama, legal challenges ongoing. I think you'll see some significant redrawing, potentially even with effects in this year's midterm elections.
If you can take us back, if you can, when this became, I guess, law, or so to say. I mean, it was way back in the civil rights era, right, when they changed the redistricting situation to, allow more minority leadership, I guess, to run in some of these races.
Well, absolutely. And the key section of the Voting Rights Act, which was passed in 1965, is Section 2. And that's sort of the legal vehicle that over the years has allowed for redistricting in the direction of majority African-American or majority minority districts. The Supreme Court decision changes the way that you can apply Section 2. And it's really been a number of decisions. So not just Louisiana versus Calais, but you had Shelby County versus Holder in 2013. You had the Rucho decision in 2019 by the Supreme Court. Over a number of years, the justices have said you can, as long as you stick to a colorblind approach, do political redraws of the map, but you can no longer use race as a consideration. And that was definitively affirmed just a few days ago in Louisiana versus Calais.
Well, let's say, though, that this movement continues between now and November, and a number of states, red-leaning states, go more red. Aren't we still in a blue wave scenario in an off-year election?
Well, and I think you're right to point out that it could cut both ways. So California has just redistricted in a way that produces more Democratic congressional seats. So the tricky thing about our federal system is this is actually state by state. So in Texas, in California, those are parts of the country where state legislatures are able to do political redraws. Absolutely look for a sharpening of partisan advantage. But notice some states like Florida have state level legislation that prohibits the partisan redraw, or what we call the political gerrymander. So the takeaway, I think the midterms are going to be closer than many people allow. I do think you're going to see Democratic advantages in parts of the country where you can have progressive legislatures do reshaping of the map. I think you're absolutely right about that.
All right, we got to take a quick break. Can you stick with us after the break for just about 2 more minutes?
Absolutely, love to.
All right, it's coming up next on Fox 10 Talks. Celeste, don't try to tell me we're lowbrow on this show. This is our second doctor in the hour.
I know.
We just had one from Vanderbilt a few minutes ago talking about infectious diseases.
And now we have one from who graduated from Yale University, and now he's at Tarleton State.
It's Dr. Bo Kabala. Doctor, we welcome you back for just a couple of more minutes. By the way, Tarleton, tell us about the university. I think you're just a few miles outside of the DFW. Is that right? What's that?
Central Texas. So a fantastic place, in my opinion, to live and work. If you're in the area, don't miss Heart 8 Barbecue. That's not a commercial endorsement. That's sharing.
Good.
Culinary advice. I highly recommend it. Yeah.
Do you have a Buc-ee's nearby? We're getting our first one this summer, by the way.
Yeah, in a month.
Not within an hour, but about an hour and a half on the way to Dallas, there is a Buc-ee's. That's right.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Nice. Okay. Hey, just to wrap up with you, let's get into the practicality of it all. I'm going to try to put you on the spot a little bit because I think this really is, people do want to know, those who have more expert opinions. You've analyzed it. And so Texas likely could go more red, Florida as well. California, we know, Virginia, they're going to go more blue. Is it enough to stem what would normally be a blue wave? And what are we talking about with a normal blue wave? Aren't we talking about the potential to pick up, I don't know, you tell us, 20 more seats for the Democrats if it is a blue wave?
Well, and let me push back just a little bit because I totally agree with you. California net gain for the Democrats, but you mentioned Virginia and some procedural issues in Virginia and sort of basically the redraw or the reshaping in that state that's clearly benefiting Democrats has just been put on hold. And it looks like it's due to procedural concerns, complicating this picture of in federalism, you have some states that can do political reshaping and others where you're not allowed to do that. In other states, you have what's known as an expert commission that's supposed to go first if there's any question of gerrymandering. So it's not supposed to be the legislature going first. It looks like in Virginia, the state legislature may have jumped the line. So there's some real possibilities of Virginia's gerrymander being struck down. We don't know how it's going to go, but just to your overall question about the prediction, I think this is a closer midterm election than many people might suppose. Think of 2022. It was supposed to be just a wave. Typically, the party that's not in the White House benefits. So people were suggesting, 2022 was going to be a wave election. Democrats more than held their own. I think, yes, you have affordability concerns. You've got, dissatisfaction with what's going on in the Middle East right now. But let's remember, President Trump is more popular than congressional Democrats. Congressional Democrats may be 4 or 5 up in the generic congressional ballot. But crime is an issue, and it's come down in some of our big cities. So if you're looking at the redistricting issues that overall give Republicans an advantage, I think that could further dent the possibility of a Democratic wave. I think this is a really close election, and I'll defer to Sean Trendy and Tom Bevan on that. I think this is a coin toss at the moment.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Heads or tails? Heads or tails, Ron?
Yeah, we got to get you back here about a day or two after the election and see about that prediction. Very interesting.
Yeah, you've been great, Dr. Bo. We're going to keep you on our short list, buddy. Thank you so much.
Great to be with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for your insight.
Thank you. All right. So, Celeste, there are so many stories today that we share with you guys here on Fox 10 Talks that just leave us shaking our heads. And the latest has to do with this whole situation where a couple goes into a restaurant, happens thousands of times a day. You're supposed to pay your bill. And if you are drinking alcohol, you got to pay for it.
Yes.
If you're stealing the alcohol, don't pay for it. But did you hear the whole situation with this restaurant from right here in town?
It's in Scottsdale.
Called 333. Do you know where it is?
I do know where it is.
Okay.
So the situation was, we have some surveillance video to show all of you. The crazy thing is that these individuals were having a meal inside of this restaurant, and before the couple walked out, the woman reaches over and grabs a bottle of cognac. I believe it's $4,000 bottle.
$4,000
off like a table nearby. and stuffs it in her handbag.
Check this.
You didn't need to rob us. You didn't need to come here and steal. But stealing from me, stealing from this family here, that's not happening. We're on you. We're going to get you. We're going to prosecute you.
Wow, man, that sounds like Kash Patel doing a news conference. Huh?
Here's a video right here.
Look
See,
at
there
this.
she is.
Yeah.
And the husband's kind of standing up right there, and there is their license plate. So they are looking for these people.
Oh, they're visiting from Idaho, correct?
Oh,
I think that's an Idaho
looks like
plate.
an Idaho plate.
I think. I used to be an
Maybe.
expert, but a lot of these license plates.
I think
they change
Brian
around.
behind the scenes is taking a closer look. What do you think, Brian? Or is that a Arizona plate, maybe even? Yeah, we don't know.
Okay.
So we're looking into it, but look, there's hardly nobody in there. They must have either closed the place out or.
Well, I apologize to the entire state of Idaho. But anyway, yeah, they'll catch them because people are so dumb nowadays that they don't even know there's a camera. Come on.
They're everywhere.
All right. Speaking of cameras, this is not a good segue. Speaking of, we're talking to you on a camera right now. There's a story, there's a trending thing out there today where people are talking about their favorite comfort thing to watch on TV.
Oh, okay.
Now, we know that you guys in the chat,
You like to watch this.
you love this. And the boss came to us, it wasn't even a year ago, I think. And he's like, what if we made it interactive so we could chat with people the whole show?
On YouTube.
We love it so much. It totally makes our day. You
It's
guys
great
are
to
so
meet you
great.
guys.
But let's talk about what our comfort shows.
Like a binging show or
it
a
could be a
streaming
binging
show.
type show, or it could be it could be like reruns. Celeste,
Share in the chat.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on kind of what makes you feel good. Maybe you want to feel a little nostalgic. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy, to watch a certain show.
If you had to guess what I like to put on for comfort TV, what would you guess?
The History Channel.
It's pretty good, but there's something even more near and dear to my heart, and I'm going to play it for you because this is real video from yesterday.
Okay.
I'm playing backgammon with my grandson, Everett, and it's not so much about the fact that I beat him. Sorry, Rat.
You didn't let him win?
But it's what's on TV.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go. This is what actually happened at my house yesterday. So what just happened? Huh?
4 in a row.
4 what's in a row? 4 doubles?
Say it.
4 doubles in a row for your pop.
Oh, we've got football.
I know. Can you believe it? Celeste, I got doubles in backgammon. Double twos. And I said, I don't think I'm getting any more doubles. And then the very next thing you know, another double.
I don't want this to
What is going on? Well, we're enjoying the Husky game. That much we can say.
It's a replay.
Cherville versus Texas.
Yeah.
All right.
What year was that game?
That was 2023, Celeste.
Well, that
was a good year for us.
This is a no judgment zone here. This is a safe space, the circle of trust, as we like to call it. There's no judgment.
I do this all the time. I put on old college football games for my beloved Huskies, and I just watch them. It's so great to. The other day, somebody in my family said, "Are you already missing football?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am missing football."
Yeah.
So, what is it for you? What's your comfort? Show, or just it could be a YouTube thing or whatever.
You know what? I think it's probably like a Food Network show. Like just throw on the Food Network.
Pioneer
or the
Woman.
Cooking.
Do you like the Pioneer
I love
Woman?
her.
Yeah.
I love her. She has a great tres leches recipe that I actually use. I think, and just listening to in the background, while I'm kind of like cleaning the kitchen or I'll vacuum or sweep or whatever, mop. I love to mop.
Do you?
I love to mop.
Are there mopping videos on YouTube? I'm serious. I bet there are.
There probably are.
Yeah.
How to mop best.
Yes.
How to be the best mopper.
Let's go to Bella. She's over there. She's covering all the breaking news, but she has opinions too.
Hey,
Bella, what do you like to put on?
I like to put on TV shows. So I like to put on Jane the Virgin. We've talked about this a few weeks ago. Just to relax. It's a nice telenovela.
What else?
Yeah.
I also I'm watching Euphoria right now. It's not a comfort show, so to say, but it's been what I've been putting on.
Okay.
You know what I've turned on the last couple of days, Bells? Have you heard of Rooster? Did you see Rooster?
I haven't.
It's Steve Carell. From The Office.
He's funny.
And it's almost like Office, but he's the dad and his daughter's a professor and he's an author. It's really funny.
Let's go to Big D.
Really funny.
Let's find out. I'm gonna punch up the Dave cam right now. There he is. Dave, do you have a comfort? I will also say I love the walking around videos on YouTube.
Oh yeah, like the New York.
Yeah, where they just walk around the city.
Yeah.
You feel like you're there.
Yeah.
But anyway, what do you go for?
I have 3 favorite shows. The first one is The Balancing Act. It's hosted by this wonderful lady named Syleste Rodriguez.
Thank you.
This lady right here?
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, and another one I really love. It's called The Great American Story. It's hosted by Ron Hoon and John Netzel. It's all about American history. You can watch both of those on the Fox Local app, as well as fox10phoenix.com and YouTube. But my third favorite show, distant third, is The Challenge. My wife and I love binge watching that. It's very entertaining. It's from MTV and very fun.
Oh, we'll have to check that out.
MTV
Gary
still
and I
around?
Still around and still doing competition shows. They're up to season 42.
Oh my gosh.
That's cool.
Look at Amber Bug. She says, I love to vacuum. Instant gratification.
Yeah,
There's
there
like,
you go.
see the lines?
Okay.
And it's just like, oh.
Look, we're going to suggest it because we're so busy we can't really follow up on our ideas. We have brilliant ideas. If somebody wanted to do a vacuuming
video,
just a half hour of you vacuum, you'll probably get 1 million views and become a superstar.
Probably.
Right?
By the way, we should do a voicemail. Do we have the voice? Thank you, Dave. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a voicemail thing on here?
Yeah, no, but what's that number, Big D? Go for it. You know it.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Okay, let's give you the prompt while he looks it up.
Okay.
If there is something that you like to do, a show you like, or something you love to do at the house, Big D's going to give you the info.
602-262-0428. Call us, leave us a voicemail with your favorite comfort TV show, and we'll pick one of them and put them on the air.
That is so great. Thank you, Big D.
Linda Monterth with murder mystery shows.
Oh, yes, right. Those BBC type things.
This looks like it could be a murder mystery show.
I hope not. Not in this sweet little neighborhood in Colorado. Sorry to throw you under the bus, Colorado, but some places got a foot of snow yesterday. Sean, everything's fine in your neighborhood. Believe me.
Sometimes that snow does sound like a nightmare to us Arizonans. All right, well, hey, thank you for watching here on Fox 10 Talks. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Hi.
Welcome on in, you guys. Happy Wednesday. Time now, 11 o'clock. We're going to keep things rolling here on Fox 10 Talks. And another
jam-packed show.
We do indeed.
Want to talk about travel?
Yes, let's do.
Were you shocked when Spirit Airlines announced that it was shutting down?
Well, I mean, I think it came as a surprise because I think they were hoping that they were going to get that little buyout to help them. But I mean, I think it came as a shock to a lot of folks that they just kind of ceased operations overnight.
I know that you keep an eye on a lot of the aviation stuff. And so I can't even imagine what that would be like, though, waiting for a flight.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these announcements are made. So we want to talk a little bit to Zach Griff. Hi there, Zach.
He is our travel expert. Good morning, Zach. How are you?
Good to see you guys.
Did you get a haircut since we chatted last?
New chair, new haircut.
Oh, there we go. I like the look. Sharp.
All right, let's start.
Well, it's getting hotter out. So
that is very true.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to talk with you about because there's a lot going on in the travel world. But I wanted to start with just kind of getting your overall kind of baseline. We were talking about gas prices obviously going up across the board. Jet fuel is going up. So that means that we as consumers are going to be paying more when it comes to those summer flights. What are you seeing right now as far as those prices go for summer travel?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. Airfares are rising. They're rising rapidly. What I've been telling folks to do is book your flights now if you can. Lock it in. You can always get a credit or a refund if you're booking one of those non-basic fares. And then, we lost Spirit Airlines this weekend. And Spirit, even if you hate the airline, was amazing in the market because it added competitive pressure for airlines to keep their fares lower. And without them, airlines are going to just have such a field day here. And it's so unfortunate because, I actually enjoyed flying Spirit in some cases. And even if I didn't want to fly Spirit on a particular day, I loved having them in the market.
Zach, we'll touch more on Spirit, but I first want to ask you said book in advance. So how far in advance is realistic? I know I have time off in October, and I know I'd like to go home to Chicago to visit my family. But, what will change? What doesn't? Should we book that far in advance?
Yeah, I mean, there really is no downside. I think a lot of people, what they forget is that if you book a ticket today, and it's not the basic fare, but it's, their classic or standard or whatever the airline calls it. If you book it today and the price changes and goes lower between now and the time of your flight, you will actually be eligible for a credit. Now, you could go and, make that process on your own and check and monitor. There are a bunch of services. There's one with autopilot.com that automates it for you. So basically, they'll track the fare. If it drops, they'll get you the credit. And so it's basically a little bit of a rebate, and you'll have a year or so to use that credit. So there really is very little downside for folks to lock in their tickets early, and especially because there's so much uncertainty as to what's going to happen with jet fuel. I'm recommending folks, especially for those who haven't booked their late summer, early fall trips, lock it in now. And then again, if it does go lower, you can end up with that credit.
Okay, Spirit Airlines, will they come back? I mean, like Ty was saying, we have so many planes in inventory, obviously employees.
I'd love for Spirit to come back. I miss Spirit. I had, lots of great experiences flying them. I know people say they suck, but to be honest with you, they unlock travel at a lower fare, especially as I was growing up. I grew up in South Florida. They were really big in Fort Lauderdale. Spirit's not coming back, or at least not in its kind of previous iteration. Someone's crowdsourcing a campaign on Instagram and social media. I don't know if any of you guys have been hit with those videos, but I have. But the likelihood is it's certainly not in its previous iteration. A lot of the planes will end up being flown back to kind of the boneyard, which is kind of all over the country. A lot of dry areas end up with these planes. And then the folks who have leased the planes to Spirit, they'll end up going and kind of re-leasing those planes out to other airlines that are really in need of planes. And so actually, it's kind of funny. I've seen pictures of planes in Vietnam and Thailand and Southeast Asia, all yellow, that that have big Spirit stickers that have basically been kind of all yellow stickers that have been placed over the Spirit, and they're flying around. And that's likely what's going to happen to a lot of these Spirit planes.
We've seen a lot of them actually coming right here to Arizona. A lot of those Spirit planes being parked at Goodyear for the time being. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens. Zach, I don't mean to keep bouncing back around, but I had another question for you when it comes to these fuel prices. It was a couple weeks ago where one of the officials in Europe was basically saying we've got 6 weeks before we're going to start to see no fuel. And a lot of folks were kind of freaked out about that as far as summer travel goes. Enter Europe, some of those smaller routes might be canceled. What are we seeing as we get closer to that 6-week deadline that individual was kind of talking about?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of talk about whether Europe's going to run out of jet fuel. I mean, the truth is right now you have all your big airlines that have said that they're stocked up for summer. There's really not much to worry about. What we have seen is some of the European airlines, much like here in the U.S., I mean, it hasn't actually gotten as much coverage as it probably should have. But a lot of airlines here, both in the U.S. and in Europe, are cutting shorter, regional, less profitable routes that they just don't need to fly in an environment where jet fuel is so expensive. And so that's what we'll see first before we're going to see Europe running out of jet fuel. And so, United last weekend, 5% of summer flights, they just kind of scrapped from their schedule. A bunch in Chicago, shorter regional places are getting scrapped. Now, the flip side is without Spirit here, domestically, we're going to see airlines adding a bunch of those routes that they are kind of what I'm calling the sloppy seconds.
Sure.
And then, in Europe, we have already seen a bunch of cuts, shorter routes, but those have been filed, and I assume that, assuming that we see the kind of jet fuel topped out at where it is now, that's pretty much set for summer.
When you say shorter route, do you mean like Phoenix to San Diego because that's a quick route, or are you talking about
Phoenix to San Diego? That's a route that a bunch of people are, that's a busy route. I'm talking like Chicago to Milwaukee, Chicago to Moline, places that are regional jets, 50, 70 seat planes that are hard to fill. Oftentimes are used to funnel connections and things like that. They may operate at 6 a.m. or 11 p.m. or those are the ones that are the first ones to be cut.
All right, Zach, our next, I've got so many topics to talk to you about. I know you just got back from Europe. A lot of folks were talking about that new entry-exit system going in and out of Europe, which means basically we're not going to get those cool stamps on our passport anymore, which I think a lot of folks are not happy about.
Boo.
But when they first rolled out, we saw very long lines at some of those major airports. What was your experience?
Yeah, so just as a refresher, exactly, new entry system. It's theoretically it's great. It's automated, and so you don't have to actually speak to a border service agent anymore. You kind of show up with your passport, put it in the system. It takes a picture, takes your fingerprints, and then you're cleared. Again, no stamps, which as a collector myself, I'm kind of frustrated about. But whatever, neither here nor there. Welcome to 2026.
Yeah.
The lines. So this is a new system. It was rolled out less than a month ago across the EU. Some airports haven't even adopted it because it's been causing these lines. And I was just in Rome, both ways, about 15 minutes wait. Not terrible in my opinion. Now I have seen videos of it stretching 2-3 hours during peak periods. I will say that folks don't actually know how to use the system yet. And so I think that that's a big part of the kind of the backlog. So first, when you arrive, you will need to actually register your passport before you go to immigration. Now, there are a bunch of kiosks in Rome. I counted hundreds, and they were just like empty. People just walked right by them because they didn't realize. But you actually have to stop at them, register your passport. That's for first-time registrations only. And afterwards, you have 3 years in which you can then go through any EU exit point without doing the registration process, and that's photo and 4 fingerprints. Then you go to immigration, you do it on the system, it's easy, it already has your photos and fingerprints, and on exit, you don't have to register, just straight to the kiosk and get out.
Is there any confirmation? Because I mean, I flew through Europe not too long ago, and this was before it had started, but I think it was maybe a hybrid or like a test in the Madrid airport. So is my passport good to go, and do I have any confirmation that that is in fact the case?
It's funny. They were at some point putting on stickers at the back of people's passports after they had been, enrolled. and those stickers either run out or whoever was supposed to be giving them out didn't do it on last week when I was entering. And there is no kind of confirmation. There's no app or anything like that. Technically, once you've enrolled your face and your fingerprints at one EU country, that should be enough for last year for 3 years.
So this is not something you can enroll ahead of time, like on a website. Like when we were traveling to Japan a couple of years ago, they needed you to fill everything out online to present.
Yeah, so right now it is because they're collecting your fingerprints in the photo. The photo, I guess, theoretically they could probably do, remotely, but with the fingerprints, it's all right now based on arrival.
Okay, we have 2.5 minutes left. I love this topic. Delta Airlines said they're not going to be giving snacks or drinks for shorter flights. So that's about 350 miles. Ty says 45-minute flight. I put out a little informal poll on my Instagram saying no snacks, no problem, or give me my pretzels. And more than 60% of people said, give me my pretzels. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no question. It's a devaluation on those flights. They used to have pretzels and snacks and whatnot. Now, I will say that what a lot of people forget is that they are just adjusting the cutoff. So now that there are flights 350 miles and greater that previously didn't have snack service, they will have snack service. So Delta, the numbers, and I actually just wrote this in my newsletter today from the tray table. If you're not subscribed, it's free. You should absolutely do that. But in the newsletter, I said that it's 14% of flights are gaining snack service with Delta. 9% of them are losing snack service. So yes, it is frustrating, but it is not as bad as all the headlines are kind of out there saying right now.
That's why we needed you.
That's why we need the expert here. Give us your website one more time so folks can go enroll on that.
Yeah, so you can just type into Google from the tray table, Zach Griff, and you will find newsletter, sign up, my website. There's a lot of good content out there. I believe that the two of you are both avid subscribers. So
we are indeed, yes, and I love your great Instagram as well, Zach. It's a wealth of knowledge. So thanks for taking the time to talk to us as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day. Thanks, guys.
You too. Safe travels.
All right, Zach is in the New York area, so I just saw this shot. Isn't that pretty?
I can't remember where we were traveling, whether it was Japan, which I know is not EU. Last year we did Italy, and I think I have a sticker on my new passport. Someone gave us a sticker, but I can't remember exactly who it was, so I'm going to have to look because I thought that was really interesting.
Well, even when you go through security, I think they used to put the sticker on the back, but only that was for security to get through.
Okay, well, see, I'm learning.
See, we're learning slowly but surely.
I'm not as smart and suave as everyone out there, but I'm learning. We'll be right back. Welcome back in.
All right, we are going to head up north, you guys. This is so beautiful up in the Flagstaff area. If you've never heard about this, we did a story not too long ago. It's called the Barefoot Trail.
A little bit of grounding. So we're taking our shoes off and we're going to be at one with Mother Nature. So Leah Williams with the Barefoot Trail is joining us right there at the head of the Barefoot Trail. How are ya?
Great, doing wonderful this morning. Thank you for joining us on our opening day for the season.
Oh,
it looks so nice up there today as well, Leah. So Anita kind of explained it a little bit, but give us what exactly is a Barefoot Trail and why did you want to open one in the Flagstaff area?
Good questions. So the Barefoot Trail is, we have a 13-acre park here with a 1-mile manicured trail with about 35 different adventure stations for your feet to play with. So we've got lots of different reflexology materials and textures and temperatures for you to explore with your feet and with your body. Way to just integrate some fun wellness into a very helpful activity as you pair and ground with the earth itself. What inspired that was we went to a trip in Europe. We were living there actually at the time. And we attended one in Europe, and it was a wonderful experience. My kids had so much fun. And so I said, when I get back to the United States and move back in and settle, I'm going to go ahead and build one. And we were here in Arizona. So Flagstaff, this beautiful area up north here with all the ponderosa pines and all the shade that's provided here, seemed like the perfect place to build a park. The first one in the nation.
My goodness, it looks gorgeous. We're watching video right now. I think as a kid, especially in the summertime, I don't think I ever wore shoes.
I agree.
We ran around barefoot everywhere. And, they talk about the importance of grounding and taking your shoes off and putting your feet directly in the grass and in the dirt.
Yes, it's a direct energy absorption. So we harbor certain type, electrons that we absorb from our electronics and things. And when we touch the earth with our feet, our hands, with our bodies, with our bare skin, we're able to transition that energy that we've been harboring with the electromagnetic fields and the energy that we absorb from those, and we're able to dispel that back into the earth. So that's a little bit of the science behind it, but it's also just fun, relaxing, de-stressing, and it's just an enjoyable experience. You feel better after you walk barefoot and experience nature all natural.
Leah, I was going to ask you for naysayers out there, oh man, I don't want to try this. But once they do try it, what is kind of their reaction when they come back and give you kind of their feedback?
Yeah, we have some doubters, but, we really encourage them to at least try it. And a lot of people ask, do I have to take my shoes off? Well, no, you don't. Some people have some medical conditions, and of course, we do allow them to keep their shoes on. But we do encourage you to at least try, at least 20 minutes, and just feel the sensations. Your whole world comes alive when you experience your world through your feet. You feel that temperature, you feel texture, you just experience life differently when you are barefoot. So we do encourage that.
Okay, maybe a silly question, but does it hurt? Do we worry about stepping on something sharp? How do we ensure that there are no foot injuries?
I was going to ask the same question.
Good questions. We do manicure the trail and clean it every morning for about 2 hours before anybody comes. So we stay on top of the maintenance. But we have sanded the whole trail. So you actually have a really nice soft cushion, and then some other areas with all different kinds, again, textured materials. So the rocks are there for you to step on if you want. There's ropes, there's wood, there's mud, there's water, there's all different kinds of things. But it's a choose your own adventure. So if there's something you don't want to do, you just bypass it and go around. So, and we do have some things out there, particularly lava rock, that is a little bit harder to walk on, that will challenge your feet, but we put it out there for a reason, for you to just at least give it a try. If you don't like it, you just go around onto the next thing. So,
you mentioned that there's different kind of textiles, not textiles, but textures that you walk on. Is there one that is your favorite that you like?
So we have a section in our blind walk area where you're able to hold onto a rope and even close your eyes if you wanted to go and feel just the different textures in the half circle. One of those is corks. I like wine corks. It's really, really firm and hard on the feet, but I like that pressure on there. I think it's soothing. You either love it or you hate it. So it's really fun to ask people when they come back around whether they liked it or not. And there's probably 10 different things like that on the trail where you either love it or you hate it.
One last question before we say goodbye. Is there a foot washing station before and after?
There is. We have one after for you. You can clean off your feet before you put your shoes on.
Oh, look, it's right there on the video.
Stinky feet.
Yeah, there you go.
That looks amazing. I can't wait to try it.
Leah, do people need to make reservations? Can they just show up? And how much does it cost?
We do suggest reservations. On the weekends, we're very busy. Our weekdays, Wednesday through Sunday that we're open, are a little less attended. We've got some extra room for walk-ups and things, but please, if you're going to come on a weekend, try and reserve those spots. Awesome. The ticket price online for booking is $14 for adults, $12 for children, free for 0 to 2, and if you come in a group of 10 or more, it's $10 per person. Our walk-up ticket price is $15, and we do have yoga classes as well on Thursday and Sunday, so you can buy a combo ticket, which we do sell for $20.
How cool!
Amazing! Congrats to you. Looks like very successful.
We have to come up and try it, Leah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Leah.
Our executive producer and her husband went up last year.
Oh, really? And they tried it?
Yeah, Melanie. She said she loved it.
Oh, I've got to go try that
I would
now.
go try it as well.
Very cool. All right, you know him, you love him. Chris is here from the Phoenix Symphony talking about your season. It's kind of wrapping up, right?
Correct. End of May. We have 4 more weeks of performance.
Not over yet.
Not over yet.
Yeah.
Probably saving the best for last. Wink, wink.
They're
all great.
Yes, there are amazing programs left. Absolutely.
All right, let's start with the troupe Vertigo.
Yes, this weekend it's Mother's Day weekend, and so we have this wonderful performance. It's acrobatics and aerobatics with the music of the opera Carmen and then other Spanish music. It's every year the troupe Vertigo comes to the Phoenix Symphony and performs. This year over Mother's Day, it's a really entertaining spectacle. So it's like that cirque kind of performance, and it'll be at the Orpheum Theater, and they'll be hanging around there literally.
I like what you did there, Chris.
You know what? Every time you come in and you start talking about all these different shows, I'm so shocked and surprised by the creativity behind it. Because this isn't just sitting in your seat listening.
Yes.
You are really watch all of your senses.
Yeah, it really engages. The sound and the sight so beautifully.
Feelings.
And yeah, exactly. These evoke incredible emotions. This is, really powerful music with incredible acrobatics and just a lovely group of people from all over the world performing these and assembling here in Phoenix.
And then you have the symphony right behind them while they're performing in front.
Correct.
Wow.
It's all the original music from the composed Bizet's Carmen and, Chalier, España, like some really, really beautiful music. Featuring these incredible other performers.
And still tickets available for Mother's Day?
Tickets are available at phoenixsymphony.org. Get them now. They're going fast.
Yesterday was May 4th, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
May the Force be with you. So you have the film Star Wars Return of the Jedi, May 22nd through the 24th.
Yeah, and that's next week already. Yes, Return of the Jedi comes back to Symphony Hall, the third and final installment of the original trilogy, where we find out Luke's father is indeed Darth Vader. Sorry if that's a spoiler.
Yeah.
But
how long's the movie been
it's like 1983.
I've never seen it.
This is wonderful because again, the orchestra, full orchestra, is underneath the big screen, and the Star Wars movies especially have the larger screen. So because of the the technical terms, the aspect ratio, but it's a really big screen, and you get the full effect of being like back in the cinema in 1983, I think, when they came out.
We've always talked to you about this is a great introduction for people people that may have never been to the Symphony. But on the other hand, this must be kind of fun for some of your artists to be able to perform such iconic music like Star Wars.
Well, we in fact have a few of our orchestra musicians who like to dress up a little bit.
Cool.
And we certainly will encourage that. It's supposed to be a really fun afternoon or evening at the Symphony. There are 4 performances. There's a Friday night and then 2 on Saturday, so it's afternoon and evening, and Sunday afternoon. All at Symphony Hall, and some of our musicians, they'll wear the little Princess Leia buns on the side of the head, and or dress as a Jedi. It's fun, and our audience should also feel very welcome to come in costume, and they do. And so this year we also have performers in costume, in really, really authentic looking costuming from those movies. They'll be wandering around the lobby, taking photos with our patrons. Yeah.
Little Philosophy says the Star Wars one looks cool.
Yeah,
definitely. Tickets are available for that.
That is absolutely available, since there are 4 opportunities to see it between the 22nd and 24th of May. Wow, it's absolutely incredible, and everything from the the introduction of the movie studio, 20th Century Fox kind of thing.
They do it all.
Oh, everything.
That is cool.
All the way, and we encourage people to stay through the end credits, because the end credits are where some of the most beautiful music comes together, and so we encourage everyone to stay all the way through and hear all of that incredible John Williams score. And our musicians, they love to play it.
Yeah.
John Williams is a great musician to play.
All right, so this next one, I had to do a double take, and I was like, is this a typo? We're talking about the Phoenix Symphony and Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, oh my gosh. Steve Hackman, in the last several years, we've done programs where he mixes a classical composer with a contemporary artist. For example, last year we did Beyonce and Beethoven. The year before we did, Tupac and Biggie with Mahler 2. It was based on themes of resurrection, and this year it's Stravinsky's Petrushka mixed with Kendrick Lamar's Pulitzer Prize winning album. So they're both based on puppetry. Like the puppet show of Petrushka is how that piece is based, but also Kendrick Lamar's album is also, following that theme of control. And so those pieces are combined into an incredibly interesting mashup, so to speak, of classical and contemporary music. It really shows the relevance of classical music today and how storytelling through music really hasn't changed for hundreds of years, and that we still have those emotions that exist from hundreds of years ago into today. It's really a brilliant mix of music.
Do you sneak in when they're rehearsing?
All the time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's it. The nice part. It's part of my job. So that I listen to rehearsals. I get to hear how things are going, troubleshoot if things are not going so well technically, because our musicians are amazing. So that's nothing to worry about. But it's sometimes technically anything can happen when you put all these technical elements. You work in TV. Anything can happen.
Yeah. We've got 15 seconds. Give us a website where folks can get tickets.
Again, phoenixsymphony.org, and then just buy as many tickets as you possibly can. We're trying to
support the arts.
Exactly, ramping up to the end of the season.
Thank you.
It's going to do it for us on this Tuesday, or what day is today?
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. We'll be back
6th.
tomorrow.
May 6th.
everybody. Ron and Des hanging out with you this morning at 11:30. And so, Des, I was just saying how, we're getting to that time of year where we like to look at the pictures from the Pacific Northwest, especially because we're going to be 106 next week. Is that what I saw? 105, 106, something like that?
Yeah, triple digits.
Hey, look, we get 8 great months of weather here, almost 9. So we put up with the middle of May till the middle of September. But
True.
Anyway, look, you have had, I would say, not that I purposely ranked them, but I would say one of your busier days in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said to my photographer this morning, I'm like, wow, it's really busy news day. We had a lot of breaking news unfolding this morning.
Right.
So we had that the shooting in Scottsdale, SWAT situation.
Right.
And then I was in the city of Surprise. There was an accident there involving a garbage truck.
Well, you did such a good job. We actually played some of your report in our 10 a.m. hour. Why don't you recap for people? So this came in the newsroom. We're like, did it hit the house or did it not? And look at the car. Go ahead, Des, and kind of walk us through this story because you were out there. You learned all the info.
Yeah, it was right there at the intersection of Reams and Waddell. So that's the situation that we had there. The garbage truck going through the block wall of a home there into the backyard. Unclear if it actually, the truck physically hit the house. But when we got out there on scene around 8:30, that was our first live shot this morning. They actually then pull that truck out of the backyard across the sidewalk, and it was in the road there on Reams. So that when we got there, it was in the northbound lanes of Reams, but it was facing southbound.
Okay.
And it's unclear what direction either vehicle was traveling in.
Yeah.
All we really know at this point was that the driver of that other smaller sedan that you saw in the hospital, unknown condition, but there was only one person in that vehicle, in both really. There was just the driver in each. And then, there's a big cleanup now underway. Obviously, the entire block wall is in the backyard of that home there. We did learn it's called the Avila community.
Oh, okay.
So if anyone lives there, or is familiar with that community, those are all actually rental homes. And it just so happened that unit is vacant.
Oh, so, you're kidding.
Yeah. So I guess, if it had to happen, probably a good unit. Nobody's in that right now.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's probably maybe a blessing in disguise.
I was going to say that whoever lived there, count your lucky stars because just a little bit more force and it would have plowed right into the house. Yeah, exactly. And usually the back of a home is where the bedroom are.
Mm-hmm.
Bedrooms are.
Usually a bedroom, yeah.
And so...
I try to talk to officers on scene, but obviously, it's kind of got to go up the chain of command and go through their investigation. But it's unclear how that happened. Where they were traveling from, what side of the road they were on, how fast they were potentially going.
Right.
No word if there's, impairment involved or anything like that. But unfortunately, that one driver in the hospital, the driver of the garbage truck is okay. Was able to walk away, which is fine.
I will say, I guess it would be up to law enforcement there in terms of how they kind of move things along. But by the time you got out there, it was really fascinating because as you're doing your live shot, they already have this thing up on the back of the tow truck and they're hauling it out of there.
Oh yeah, by the time we got done, it was gone. And typically a live shot for our viewers. On breaking news, it just depends on the situation, how long or short, but typically, maybe a 2-minute report. So that's how quickly it was in the roadway and then towed away.
Yeah. And so sometimes, obviously, if there was a fatality involved, things move extremely slowly.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be 6 hours, 8 hours before they really feel like they've dotted all the I's and crossed the T's.
But when we got there at 8:30, I didn't even see the other vehicle on scene. That was already long gone. So
okay.
All right. That wasn't even there.
So in a way, I guess that's a good sign.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember Reams and Waddell. Is there a lot going on right at that intersection? Kind of busy through there?
Yeah, right on it would be the northwest corner. There was a Walgreens. And then on the southeast corner, it looked like there was some sort of shopping, maybe center.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was a busy intersection. Yeah.
All right. Well, great job today. Absolutely great job. You know who else I'm a big fan of? Can I just say right now? Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Look at this, would you?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Nicole. We haven't had you on in like weeks, so we didn't know, if we had done something wrong on our end or if you just got too big for the FTT. What's the sitch?
Well, I'm a night sider by trade, so normally we barely cross paths, unfortunately. So, but today we got here, Levi and I got to the station at 7:30 and got on the road because we're heading to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
So we have quite the journey ahead of us.
Tell us about it. Why'd you decide to go up there and do this story anyway?
Yeah. And while I'm chatting, let me just put this on the better view, which is what we're driving through right now. We're coming through the Painted Desert area. We passed Tuba City. We've got a little less than 10 miles, and we'll be turning west and heading toward the Kaibab National Forest. Our destination is going to be north of the North Rim, actually, because the reason we're up here, you all remember that Dragon Bravo fire that burned, started on 4th of July last summer, was lightning caused, and then unfortunately got way out of hand, burned almost 150,000 acres in the Kaibab National Forest and the Grand Canyon National Park. There's some video of it, just a lot of destruction. That is the historic lodge that's on the North Rim. That is gone. There are a lot of other structures that are gone, but luckily no fatalities, and it was something that people were evacuated for, but the structures that were taken did not include the Jacob Lake Inn where we're going today. The fire did not touch that. So we're going to check in with them about their evacuations and what they went through. And luckily they still are standing, but had business affected quite a bit by the fire. And then we're going to go a little bit closer to the burn and get some visuals of that as well and bring that all back for a story tomorrow. So it's going to be quite the trip. But the Grand Canyon National Park, of course, the most visited park in our country, and a lot of people go to the South Rim. It's easier to access from Phoenix. It's about an hour and a half less of a drive. But the North Rim, people just say is so magical, and just a lot of loss there after this fire. So we're going to check in with some of the community members up there today and just kind of check in with them, because we don't want them to think that we've forgotten about them and that we don't want to keep on top of what they're dealing with. But next week begins the phased reopening of the North Rim. So people will start to go back next Friday. So we wanted to get a little sneak peek beforehand. So that's our travel today.
That's amazing.
By the way, that Jacob Lake Inn, one of my top 10 favorite T-shirts I ever bought was at the North Rim, at the Jacob Lake Inn. You might want to, when you're done working, you might want to go through their T-shirts. I'm just saying they have a great selection.
Is yours too faded? Do you need me to get you a new one?
No, I'm going to hang on to it for a little, but it says North Rim, Grand Canyon North Rim. They're so friendly there, and there's more in that store. You haven't been to that store yet, have you?
I have not. I'm really excited because not only I moved here a couple of years ago, I haven't been up to the North Rim, but I've got a native Arizonan here in the car who has never been up here. So Levi gets to see it for the first time today. Yeah, I'm so excited. So we're both going to get to see some parts of the state we've never seen before. And I have just heard how wonderful it is up here. And we really want to highlight them. Because as I said, a lot of times people come, they go to the South Rim. The South Rim is gorgeous too. But the North Rim needs to get a little love, especially after losing so much last year in the fire. So that's our mission today. Pretty cool trip to take for the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you'll have to get a T-shirt, I suppose. And Levi too, so you can all twin together.
Right. We'll be twinning. We will be twinning. Yes.
Now is the road still closed at Jacob Lake? You said they're doing a phased opening. Is that as far as you can go right now?
So we're going to be able to go a little bit further. I think we're going to have a guide. Obviously, the road we're on right now, we've still got about an hour till we get to that area. Jacob Lake Inn, I believe they do have closures still right there, but I think we're going to get some added access with another person that we're interviewing today.
Oh, good.
But there is quite a bit of, as you said, phased opening. There's some restrictions that people need to be aware of and just keep in mind. So what I'll be telling people, when we air this story tomorrow too, is that the best bet is to check out the national park page and just see for yourself what's going to be open before you make the trip, because yes, they are reopening, but not fully. And it's going to be a minute because they've got to, really make sure they maintain the area, and don't let anything get eroded too much after this fire either. So yeah, a lot of hard work being done up here to make sure that people can come and enjoy this wonder of the world. So, and we get to see more of it today.
I will just say, I'll never forget the first time I drove that highway from Jacob Lake right to the North Rim, which the views there are incredible. I don't imagine you're going to get quite that far. You're going to be blown away by how alpine-like, almost Montana like it is as you continue your drive south, because you are 2,000 feet in elevation higher than the South Rim.
Right. Yes. And I know that one of the people that we are set up to talk to today actually leads the, you're not allowed to hunt bison in the national park, but you're allowed to hunt them off the national park. And so they lead some of those tours. So you think about that, bison being here in Arizona as well.
So great.
Yeah, that's pretty you don't think about that when you're down in Phoenix.
Yeah. And there's only so much too that sometimes we can put into a news story, which is like, right, the battle of being a journalist, like trying to get all the amazing pieces of a story, to fit the newscast.
That's a great point.
So what is your Instagram if folks want to kind of just follow along with you today? Because I'm sure you'll probably put stuff up on your stories and whatnot.
I sure will be. So it's my name, Nicole Krasean TV. So they can follow along on there. I'll post stuff on my X account as well. I'm sure we'll see some really beautiful things. We'll see some of the burn as well. So that'll be a little sad to see. But we won't be focusing on that. We'll be focusing on the rebuild and the strength of the North Rim, because that's what everybody up there talks about.
All right, 5 seconds left. Perfect. Nicole, what are the current odds for back-to-back national titles for the Indiana Hoosiers?
1,000%, Ron.
I knew it. Oh, she's our big Hoosier in the newsroom.
She's not a Hoosier, not at all.
Thank you, Nicole. Mystery Cam time. Give us your guess. Well, we love hanging out with you guys on the YouTube chat. All of our regulars, for the most part, look like they are on today. I don't know if I've seen Brandy, but we miss Brandy
Brandy's
when she's
been
not
sick?
on.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, we hope she gets better soon.
Okay, but we're getting some good guesses today, Des, right?
Yeah. Oh, Little Philosophy is thinking, hey, this looks like Tennessee.
Okay. Linda says Pennsylvania. Brandon likes Connecticut. Now, this is amazing to me because over the course of time, Des, I feel like we have two really good cul-de-sacs, or not cul-de-sacs, but like circular intersections, roundabouts. And the one is in Pennsylvania and one is in Tennessee. So I'm trying to think which one this might be, but it could be none of them. What's your guess? Oh, look at Louis. He's like, I'll take all 6 New England states for the win. Louis hedging his bets. Not a bad move.
That's what I was wondering, too.
All right. What are you going to go? You can take New England. You can take all 6.
I was going to say Massachusetts because I did a couple stories there in Salem. And Salem has their roundabouts,
they got a roundabout too, huh?
But I'm not sure if the buildings say Salem to me, or if I'm just remembering going in that roundabout. But I don't know. I guess I'll take a gamble. I'll say Massachusetts.
Okay.
Then.
I'm going to go Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's Gettysburg. There's also there's another camera at a roundabout in Tennessee, so I feel like it's a sort of a 50-50 bet. But Des, please do the honor.
I was distracted by Mr. Paul Valine.
Oh, what did he say?
He's talking roast beef and cheddar. Make me hungry.
Okay, what do we got?
Oh, it's Lebanon.
It's really? Lebanon, Tennessee. Dang it.
What?
Hold on there, pal.
That one. Wow. Okay.
Look at that. There's a lot of traffic in Lebanon.
I guess so.
Lebanon, Tennessee. Now, you're a Nashville kind of gal.
Yeah, I love
Which did you like better, living in Boston or living in Nashville? Because you lived in both. You worked in both. How did we get you anyway? You could have been
How did you get me? That's a good question.
I mean, you could have been Boston superstar or Nashville
How do you
superstar.
Keep me? That's a better question. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, gosh, that one's tough. Because I really did enjoy working in Boston.
Yeah.
I love New England, rich in history.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. But honestly, I was lonely there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I went through my engagement there. I went through marriage there. But I was living alone because David was in Nashville.
Playing. Right. So that's why you left Boston.
Lived apart. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's tough.
Yeah. So I guess I'll have to say Nashville on this one because Nashville, man, that just some of the fondest memories of my life. Happened in Nashville.
Do they do a what would you call it? You know, when you go to California, they have the map of the Hollywood stars' homes. Do they do anything like that? Do you know, like, if you're got a spare day where you can drive by the estate of Faith and Tim McGraw,
No,
or
I don't know.
Here's Reba's palatial estate.
No.
Yeah.
I was we were all into the players and having fun with our friends.
Sure.
But, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to spend some more time in Nashville.
You will drive past some beautiful houses, that's for sure. Driving through like Franklin, Brentwood, just really, really
nice areas.
Acres and acres of land. Yeah.
Hey, we just got an alert that the president is speaking from the Oval Office. Let's dip in.
Across the street, they're going to have, I guess, anywhere from 75 to 100,000 people free. They're going to set up 8 big screens, and they're going to have the fight. And then out here, we're going to have 4,000 seats right in front of the front door of the White House. The hardest ticket I've ever had to.
The best live show on earth, June 14th.
This will be the greatest show on earth. Is at night. That's all lighting and cover. And I think you get the idea. So it's going to be June 14th, and it's going to be great. And this is a little different for these political people. And but these are real warriors. When we talk about warriors, these are warriors. Cyril Gahn, these are all champions. I don't have to say champions, and most of you know, many of you know who they are. Cyril, Great honor. Alex Pereira, I've seen him knock out a lot of people. That's what he does. He knocks out people. Congratulations on an unbelievable career. Wow. Ilya Topuria, who they say does not get tougher. So it's pretty much, I mean, that's it. They're very special. And a friend of mine, Justin Gaethje, who is just a fighter like you've never seen. You see the kind of pounding he'll take, and then all of a sudden it's over, and the other guy's not in good shape, right? It's a crazy game. Not in good shape.
All right, there you go. Looks like a big event set for the middle of June, about a month from now.
Interesting.
In Washington.
That will be a very unique event. It's the UFC Freedom 250 event. So it's going to be a historic mixed martial arts card. So a mixed martial arts fight right on the South Lawn.
Okay.
Probably a first.
Yes. I would say so,
don't recall an event ever like that. But interesting.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
We're getting spicy for the 250th.
Yeah, we are. That sounds kind of fun. Hey, speaking of spicy, let's go see what's going on in the market today. By the way, we haven't really talked yet about these, what are they? I guess they're going to be called the Trump retirement accounts. A lot of people do have 401ks, but for those who don't, they're going to be starting this. And you can start to appreciate the value of time. I saw by the way, the market's up almost 600 points today. There's a report that something may be in the works with Iran. We shall see, because we've been down that road a few times before. But oil, last I checked, was down about $6 to $7 a barrel. And that's a big part of what has been moving the market both to the upside and to the downside lately. So we'll keep an eye on that. But at least for today, the signs are pretty good. Hey, we have a good poll question today, Des. It's getting plenty of action on the QR code. Should the state of Arizona prioritize unemployment benefits? 26% say, yeah, strengthen that safety net. 62% are saying, no, not if it means raising taxes on employers, because what happens when you raise taxes on employers? Sometimes they just pay it, and sometimes, some jobs are lost. Now, in this case, though, there are 12% are saying, basically, the current program as it is fine, but how's about you put a little more money into those weekly payments? They could definitely go higher.
And then here on YouTube, you can see we have more than 1,000 votes, and 56%, so the majority here, believe, yes, we should be strengthening the safety net for the unemployed. 30% say no, not if it means raising taxes on employers. And 14% say the current program is fine, but weekly payments could go higher.
What are you seeing, Dave?
So many good comments. It's really interesting when the poll on TV is different, the results from poll on YouTube. We love hearing from all of you. Mark R. in Phoenix says, yes, definitely strengthen the safety net for the unemployed. It is for sure peace of mind knowing that it is there for you when you need it if you should ever happen to become unemployed. And Amy Heckathorn, 7172, says, nearly every election cycle there's a proposition to raise legislators' salaries. While I would like to vote for it, I have a hard time voting to raise their salaries when the unemployment safety net is so low and the educational system is so poor. I get the general feeling the state doesn't care at all about its residents. Really interesting comments. Keep them up, everybody.
Okay, that's Big D joining us with your feedback. Thank you very much for voting and for commenting. So, Des, this is the video. To me, this is one of the more unbelievable videos I've ever seen.
I don't think it gets any more startling, discomforting than watching this video. This was insane. So we have a driver here that chased a child.
Look right there. She's turns around.
At her.
She might have been saying something to the kid, or the kid might have been saying something to her. Window was down, but he's like, I got to get out of here. I got to run for my life.
Right. Honestly, I mean, he's probably lucky he was on a motorized bike.
Look at everybody.
Fast enough to get away.
Yeah, and if you look now, just at the very end where the video stops, here's the turnaround again.
Yeah, let's watch it again. So this is kind of how it begins, whatever is said in that exchange there.
Yeah.
Luckily, the kid knows to, Right. Get out, try to get away.
She's
get out
not
of
messing
there.
around, but look right at the end here. Then now all of a sudden you see other people running out like they're going to try to stop her. Like that lady is crazy. Crazy. Wow. So anyway, it did all happen. And the video, by the way, is from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. When I worked in Spokane at KXLY, we were just down the road. They're very close to a lot of the law enforcement.
That's just unacceptable. I hope, whatever they can charge her with, I hope they do.
Yeah.
Throw the book at her for whatever it can be for this, because that is just wild.
Yeah.
56-year-old driver here. Police say that she did try to enter the child's home as well. After this. So jumps out of the car and tries to break in, forced her way into the home.
Yeah.
And it is believed that she was probably under the influence of some sort of substance.
Brother. Hey, before we say our goodbyes, we're going to try to get life back to normal after that weird situation. With a salute to some of our favorite superstar athletes in all the world of professional sports. I am, of course, Des, talking about the Phoenix Mercury. Look how they were spending their day yesterday getting ready for the upcoming season. This is so great.
Cool. Yeah, they were teaming up with the grocery store here, Fry's in Scottsdale, a location there, and they were helping pretty much do any job you could think of. There they are, bagging groceries, helping guide customers through the store. Getting
the tomatoes all set up at produce.
Could you imagine doing your grocery shopping and you look up and you see a WNBA superstar?
Oh my God.
You're like, wow.
So great. I don't know whose idea this was, but they even spent a little time just hanging out with families, signing autographs, making drinks at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Season, we are ready for it. The Merc are always good. They're going to play their first game of the season this Saturday in Vegas against their arch rivals, the Aces.
Best of luck,
Merc.
ladies. Yeah, bring home that opening weekend win.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay. With that, Des, we got to say our goodbyes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And by the way,
it won't be long.
It won't be long. Yeah.
We'll be back.
23 hours and 30 minutes. And we hope to see you tomorrow.